Welcome back to Soul Mechanics. This week's reality check.
This one of this week's reality checks. We have two this week.
Holy shit!
This one is a special case for two sort of friends of ours, I suppose you could say. One of which, one of which blocked me. The other one we don't really know very well. We just met him. We are promoting his music. Yeah, I am terrible. But she cuts people off, so that's her thing. Like, if you piss her off, she's just gonna clip you. I
would say that's admirable. I think, in a way. I don't know. I mean, it kind of is. Instead of starting a bunch of BS, which we're about to find out that that's the opposite of what.
I'm anti-blocking.
What's happening? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm conflicted about that one. I feel like some people should be blocked. But I wouldn't block you.
Some people should be blocked.
Some people should be blocked.
Anyways, these two kooky kids with their rambunctious behavior got into a bit of a scuffle here on YouTube, and that seems they might, I mean, it could be a play, just they could be like pretending here, but it seems as though the two of them both kind of are missing a little bit of the reality of the situation as it's happening. So Sweetie Cheeks and I are stepping in and insisting ourselves as the unofficial moderators for this feud. We are, for all intents and purposes, the designated drivers. Now, this is regarding Demi from Anti-Ordinary and Staggerson Jagz, our new friend. As I stated, we are promoting his music, and for the most part, we're supporting and promoting both channels. I mean,
absolutely.
I like them both. I like Demi a lot. She's awesome. Staggs does pretty good. He's fucking excellent.
He's like a goofball kind of dude, but I dig it.
He's a skeptic. They're both in the atheist community, but he understands what it means to be skeptical. He's not the sort of person that's going to just dismiss and reject. We've talked about this. I pointed this out in our introduction videos for the Unholy Trinity series, which I apologize I haven't kept up with. I'm going to get on it immediately after this. But they have this feud. Essentially, I think what happened here is that they were both on a live stream together. Staggerson said something about...
This was, I think she said a little, when we watched like 7 minutes, that was like 2 years ago or
maybe,
something?
at least 4 months ago.
That's crazy.
This is a while ago.
First of all, 2 years, but okay, continue.
So this has been going on for a while, so you guys, I don't know, you gotta figure this out. Anyways, we're gonna help you with this as best we can. What happened was Staggerson Jagz said in the live stream that the moon does not rotate on its axis, to which Demi responded, yes it does. And he responded, no it doesn't, and she responded, citation, citation, science, science, NASA, here you go. And he responded to that saying, I think I know what I'm talking about, pretty much. And that's the end of the roll credits. Now,
no credits, because it's still like
still
this
ongoing. Conclusion.
Is it concluded, do you think?
Well, conclusion of this argument, Staggerson, you are wrong. And you know this, I'm pretty sure, because, I mean, the only way that you are not wrong and you do not know that outright, just flat out basic facts on the internet, Google it, is if he actually believes that there's like some kind of a kooky, wacky conspiracy theory to cover this up.
Yeah,
because
we kind of argued
the internet
about this
will tell you.
Before, a little bit ago, I said there's science that's accepted, and then you said that science could be wrong.
Science could be wrong.
Totally. It could be
misrepresented.
Some things we know to be true from, speaking scientifically from the scientific community, and some things kind of evolve over time, and obviously, yes, okay, but I think that's the thing. Like, I think we've like already figured out.
Yeah, with the moon, I mean, it's always facing us, and so
it appears. Oh no! Yes,
it's always facing us. We're always seeing it. So here's the thing: is that it has to be rotating on its axis if it's moving around the Earth as it's rotating, in order for us to see the face always as. So that's why you're always seeing the face. The only world in which the moon is not rotating on its axis is the biblical flat Earth. wherein the moon is not even round. So,
or
I mean, that's really
real?
the only conclusion.
I don't know a lot about
or maybe
that.
it's not real.
I don't know.
Who knows? There's a lot of wacky theories you come up with, but the standard atheist scientism understanding that you guys are supposed to be adhering to, the moon does in fact rotate on its axis.
I don't know a lot about flat earthers or atheists, but from what I understand, atheists, you know, put forth science as being the alternative, you know, belief system.
Well, no, they
say,
don't.
Right?
They
like,
will say it's not a belief system, and they'll say
well,
it's not religious.
You know what I mean.
That's what it is.
It's
yeah,
it's a belief system, like you said.
System.
Science can be wrong, so if you trust it or believe in it, which are same thing, then it's a belief system.
Which I'm going to say right here, flat out, my beat. I don't believe in physics. I think that it's something we're propping up with our psyche. I think that we're all agreeing on the laws of physics, and they operate because we tell them to.
Yeah, like a create your own reality.
Yeah, so
quantum,
we have
quantum physics.
We have
well, then what
faith.
about quantum physics? That kind of explains your point that physics is bullshit.
Right.
That's what quantum
it's
physics
not bullshit.
is, right?
Physics,
well, not bullshit,
physics
but not like
is real, but the manner in which the laws of physics are applied to our experience is based on what we tell it to. We tell the laws of physics to operate the way they do. But physics itself, yes, is real. That's the baseline to everything, is physics exists. And then we create using physics by creating laws. Basically, physics is law itself.
I don't know.
It's a ruling system that we use to create.
Okay.
But
whatever you say. Sure.
That's my idea. So I'm going to say that I have faith in the laws of physics.
Yeah,
it's
a
not
belief
absolute.
System. It's
something that I believe.
And you're either, you know, from what I understand, atheist is like counter to the scientism kind of thing. Like, and it is kind of a belief system.
Well,
was my point.
Yeah, atheism is like atheism and scientism go hand in hand. But
oh right, no, so it wouldn't be counter to.
Right,
it would be yes. If you are atheist,
you slipped
then,
up, you stupid fucking idiot.
Fuck you.
I'm gonna make oh, so you would have seen in the opening of this some of the kooky, wacky shit that we haven't done that yet, but you know, these two have been putting
going
back and forth with Staggerson did this crazy wacky underwear dance, and then, you know, Demi responded with this, which is she responded with the sexy dance in lingerie, very sexy, by the way, madam.
I think there's two of those.
Yeah, I think there's two of those. We haven't seen the second one yet, but I'm going to check it out for sure.
That's a weird strategy.
Because, she's a hottie.
That is an unusual strategy.
Here's the thing about this, is that it really comes across like, A, I mean, obviously it's a childish little feud you're having, and B, it comes across kind of like, I'm not sure if we should say this, but it seems like a kind of like a love affair here. Like the two of you maybe got a thing for each other and you just don't want to admit it.
Yeah, that's absolutely like a I don't want to keep using the word childish because it seems so
childish.
It seems mean or whatever.
It's not. We're not intending to be mean.
No, not at all. But you know, it's first of all, it's an argument over something that is the knowledge is easily acquired. Okay,
right.
So first thing first, that's kind of childish. And then on top of that, like as soon as the counter points, you know, start happening, boom, 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 there's immediate like lashing out of like, well, you're ugly, well, you suck at guitar. Like it seems to be
that on part of Demi, this is an instance of how aspects can cloud the value of an instance. He's good. He's great at guitar. He's a pretty excellent musician. So you're wrong about that objectively. But then beauty is subjective. So
exactly. You can't just clap back at somebody like, well, right. You have nasty pictures. Like who?
But you're seeing.
First of all,
you're viewing his music through the clouded aspects in your system. So you're seeing a subjective reality.
It doesn't have anything to do with who's ugly or who's bad at music or whatever. It's just a weird. It's like it's just an automatic insult. Defense kind of attack type of thing,
we get this
again,
with
very childish.
That debate that I'm having, which we're going to get to this in the next video, but which this might be the future, and you might see that before this one. So.
We time traveled.
We're time traveling right now, but this debate that I'm having, kind of a debate, a pseudo-debate, this person doesn't want to admit that they're debating, but essentially, I'm talking to somebody on Blair White's channel about this non-binary thing, and this person's telling me, that their gender is not imaginary, and I'm telling them, well, you're telling me you don't have a gender, which is definitely imaginary, but...
It's a little weird, yeah.
That their response every time is something like, fuck you, you don't, this and that, like trying to tell me what I think.
Yeah.
Because they know better because of labels and politics.
I feel like if people wouldn't automatically kind of revert back to that like schoolyard childish thing, then we could actually share our opinions, even though they don't, match up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like
right. And
I'm not mad at somebody for saying their opinion just because I have a different one. I mean, I guess sometimes, like, if I'm Nazi, well, I don't know. I'm trying to imagine, but like,
reverts
you
back
have to be mad at somebody because they don't agree with you.
Right. This childish mentality, again, we're not using the word childish to be like,
yeah, for lack of a better word, I mean, it's juvenile, I don't know, that seems mean too,
juvenile
and I don't
or
want to
immature mentality, it's coming back to that schoolyard bully kind of thing,
right.
because...
Which kind of ties in with your thing about if they like each other, then they're just, shoving each
yeah,
other
it's
over.
like a flirtatious thing.
Yeah, kick you in the shin and run away, like that kind of thing.
And I think Demi knows that. That's why she's teasing him with that dancing thing.
Which is so funny, and
but
I love it.
It's this debate rhetoric mentality that you guys seem to feel as though you're like in high school having debates about everything, which we'll show the clip here that we intended to show you as a piece of this. Maybe the whole like YouTube communication, facade type of communication could be an analogy for almost like a high school where people aren't really on the level, they don't really know who they are yet. They're still figuring saying
it
about
out.
how they don't really know each other on YouTube.
Yeah, it's like a facade-y type of communication. Like if you are a prominent YouTuber and this is your thing, like you make videos to connect with people, blah blah blah. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's awesome and it's really cool. But then people form these, for lack of a better word, relationships.
They are relationships. They're very.
A relationship implies that you are relating to somebody, and if you don't know anybody. They're an avatar. They're a video. They're a picture of themselves. You have an avatar that's relating to another avatar. It's a relationship. It's an extended relationship. Right. Which to me, maybe I could be wrong. I suppose sure, but to me it seems like that's a type of communication that's not really like
legit
real communication. Not that it's not real.
Again, yeah, and it's because it's absent of emotion. Like there's no. You have feeling that you're putting into the video, but it's not getting across because you're not in person. You don't know the nuances of each other.
The people that you connect with and form bonds with, even over years, sometimes I feel like it would be very hard to know somebody that the only way you've communicated is through an internet connection or a video or pictures and text,
right.
Texted word, type, that's not
that could be one way or the other, because there are people I've met via the internet and only known for a year or so that I'm very close to and know very well, and in the case of Demi, like I tell her on her comments, I know that you're better than this, I know you can do better than this, because for all intents and purposes I feel like I do know her. She's told her whole life story on YouTube. I've paid close attention to it. She and I have very similar backgrounds, very similar histories, so I feel like I can relate to her in that way.
I still think it would be so different if you just met her at a coffee shop,
right?
And then
of course,
spent time getting to know that person.
We only know what she's shown us.
Intimately, right. Obviously there's always going to be chunks missing. Nobody's going to just meet you and tell you everything about them. Like, that's not realistic either. But you can get a sense of things that maybe make them uncomfortable, things that they avoid talking about, things that they, you know what I mean, that make them very excited or super uncomfortable, or like you get a sense of those things without having to say it.
An
Like
intuitive sense. You get an intuitive sense for each other.
Words themselves are such a small percentage of actual communication. And I think it's lacking a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said here, and maybe we'll follow up. I'm sorry, though, we're going to have to move fast because we're running out of time here. I want you two kooky kids to know that I deleted everything. Facebook, Instagram, everything, just to make space for this video for you, so appreciate it. We do care about you guys. We care about everybody. We feel it's our role, it's our duty to try and clear these things up, but we'll get to the heart of the matter. I want to show this, though. This is part of Demi's response, which, Demi,
one of the
in
responses,
this video,
I don't know
yeah,
the order
there's
of
multiple
these.
responses. This is going to be the second one in the ones we watched. And Demi, you're coming across like you're breaking here, and it's obvious that he's breaking. You need to take a step back, calm down,
understandable,
and it is understandable, and we'll get to that. That's the heart of the matter. That's the real part. What this video is really addressing.
He's just egging her on, and she's allowing
and
the
he knows
anger to kind of take the wheel.
Yeah, and he knows he's getting to her.
Absolutely, because it's easy.
Here's something that Demi says, which we're gonna. This is a segue into the next video, actually. Well.
I'm just not taking it. I'm like, I'm not using your advice, and that's it. And I'm not a bully. You can't call me a bully. You need to justify that. By the end of the discussion, I was
now,
like, wow, that's
it's
fucked up.
okay, dude.
Dude, your fingers are like broken.
For fuck's sake. At some point, I guess he got somebody to call her a bully somehow or something.
Well,
see, who cares? But
he's not controlling everybody. Maybe somebody just was in a different argument, called her a bully. I don't know the backstory about the bully then.
Someone called her a bully. A friend of hers, I think it was that Miss Snarky character, but
she said that was her best friend.
Yeah, her best friend called her a bully because of something that had happened with this, which is ridiculous, obviously, but, you know, she says you need to justify that. Now, that's speaking to the debate rhetoric mentality again. No, he doesn't have to justify it, she doesn't have to, nobody has to fucking justify anything. This is not a high school debate.
Right.
This is real life.
Even if there were rules and you are in some kind of an environment where there's protocol to be followed that's very strict, and somebody was there making sure that everything's strictly going.
We're the moderator here.
Right, like you use the analogy of a high school debate. Like even in that case, like I don't know. I just think saying you need to justify it, just that sentence alone, is kind of misguided. I mean, I don't need to justify any. I could call somebody a jerk and I don't have to justify
Nobody's
it.
Nobody's going to arrest me for it.
Right, like, that's a weird...
See, we're the moderator here in this situation, and we're going to insist ourselves as the moderator in many situations.
Well,
as to the actual reality of the circumstance. Toss the debate rhetoric. We're going to try and get down to what's really happening.
Well, I don't want to misrepresent her either, because maybe she was using it in a completely different type of context. But it jumped out at me that particular sentence was.
That's what I think it is. But here's the thing.
I think some people get lost and they think that everything's going to bend around them when that happens a lot this day and age.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And that's what we're going to get to in the next video.
The
comedian
said something offensive. We're going to get him fired.
We're going to cover this in the next video. We have to work this fast. Here's the deal. Sorry, but Staggs was wrong about the initial argument, okay? We know that. Now, the only way he's not wrong is if there's some wacky conspiracy. We'll have to cover that later. He can tell us, you guys, tell us what you think here. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
Please, give us some input to work with.
Maybe
but
we're dummies.
Yeah, maybe we're off point, but I don't think we are. Now, what's happening is that Staggs has filed strikes against her channel for copyright infringement for using pieces. Now, with the music, that's a different issue. Maybe you shouldn't be using his music in your videos. But where it comes to like pics and shit and pieces of the other videos, especially pieces of a response clip, it was actually the atheists, and Godless Cranium and the other one, Shannon Q and Pelogia, who kind of filled me in on essentially what amounts to kind of an unwritten YouTuber code, an understanding between us that you don't strike other people's channels unless they're doing something that's shitty, like being offensive or lying or...
It's not just to be petty,
exactly. If they give you credits for it, they put, a link to your video and say who you are and whatnot, and essentially give you traffic, help you out, especially Staggerson, you could use her help. The two of you should be working together. That's what we want to get to.
Oh, I'm
here.
sure it'll blow over.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually.
And they might hook up and get married. Who knows? But here's the thing. I can't agree with that. I think that that's a bad move on his part. I think it's poor form.
He was just trying to be petty. But again,
it's bad form.
It's his property.
Yeah, so you can strike her channel if you want to. You can strike our channel for using that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's.
But I would, and where it comes to us especially, we are going to be heavily promoting your music regardless of what you do. Although I would have to say it's probably striking our channel would probably be a pretty big mistake on your part. I would not advise doing that. But you can do as you please. What I'm saying here is that I don't think it's cool for him to be striking Demi's channel unless she's like doing something shitty, you know, lying, being offensive, whatever.
So
but if she's responding, if you've got the back and forth thing going, it's fair play. So
seems
please,
like he's being petty.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask and advise that you don't do that. That you strike the strikes, remove those strikes, and get back to just being fair play YouTubers. Until, you know, it's your prerogative, do as you please, but that's our suggestion, that's our overall call on this, and that's all the time we have for this. So thank you everyone for watching, most especially Demi and Staggs if you're watching this. The pleasure to serve you. Kila Salai, Terviuni Siari, Namaste. Before we go, I'm sorry, I just totally forgot. This is on behalf of both of you. For both of you. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
Have a nice day.